Welcome back to part 2 of Wolves ReReviewed. This time round we're in the second half of the 2014-15 season. I'm Tom Parry, comedian and podcaster, joined by club commentator Mikey Burrows and the Athletics' Tim Spiers. And where are we? We're 8th in the league, newly promoted into the Championship, and making a pretty good fist of it, really. Young, hungry team. Got off to a flyer, had a bit of a stumble in November, but there we are, 3 points out of the playoffs, and, you know, impressing, it should be said. We're doing all right, aren't we?
Apart from November.
And then it gets better with the signing of Mr. Afobe any week now.
I seem to remember being it's a very exciting signing.
Yeah, absolutely. He was one of the most, coveted strikers in the country, wasn't he, at the time?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure how we managed to nab him.
2 million as well. It's an absolute steal. This is the FA Cup. I think Sacco goes off to the Africa Cup of Nations after that.
Oh, good knowledge.
Double over Blackburn.
Always a wounder, isn't it, losing a decent player to the Africa Cup of Nations.
Yeah, although is it in the summer now?
Yeah, they changed it.
Eventually.
Well, did they do that just as a one-off?
I can't remember. But, well, they've got rid of that, and they're gonna have a World Cup there instead, which is obviously a flawless idea.
Yeah, much better. Yeah. Great.
Oh, deadly dangerous! Look at that. Don't you hate it when the cameras go to the fans, but it's about 30 seconds after the goal's gone in? And they're just politely applauding, and people might think, oh, that's them actually celebrating.
It's the post-celebration.
Yeah.
Afterglow. Oh no. He's missed a sitter.
Oh no.
Van der Parra's really had his chances this season. It's just things like he could have quite easily scored about 10 goals that we've seen with the chances he's had.
Yeah,
they just haven't gone in.
Many, does he?
And it's kind of like...
Oh gosh, yeah, I remember this.
There you go. What a man.
Oh, I'll never forget that. I think it was late afternoon when we got the news.
Yeah.
At the Express and Star, and then we rallied round and produced an 8-page pull-out in 3 hours or something like that. And everyone was in such shock.
What a man, what a life.
This is a bonkers game as well, because I'm pretty sure
it
snows, during extra time.
Done really well at getting around the back, and Edwards with the equaliser. Strong, persistent.
They're pretty attacking. Feels quite gung-ho, doesn't it? This team. You've got your 2 wingers, normally 2 strikers. Edwards pushing from midfield, and there's plenty of goals knocking around.
So it was a really fun year, this.
Yeah.
And it was that thing of I said before, Kevin McDonald's passing range, and the fact that he's able to thread it through. See, look at the snow now.
Look at that. Oh, brilliant.
Yes,
oh,
Dave.
You've got to.
It's really good. I haven't brought the orange ball out.
I was going to say, you can't see. The ball's supposed to be a winter ball, isn't it? You can't even bloody see it.
What a penalty.
Great that they're actually showing the penalty shootout. Good to have a season review that does that.
Thanks, mate.
I love that they've cleaned the run-up and penalty spot area as well. It's excellent work.
I can't take credit for that.
They just sent you out to lie down on the penalty spot.
Yeah, I did a giant snow angel, and that's what happened.
And he does. Wolves are out of the cup.
Ah, man.
Sir Jack Hayward was more than just a former owner of the club. To many fans, he was one of their own. Born on June the 14th, 1923, he'd grown up just half a mile from Molineux, regularly crawling under the turnstiles to see his heroes. By the time he bought the club in 1990, he'd been a pilot, an entrepreneur and more. But it was his love of Britain, Wolverhampton and Wolves that defined him. From saving the club from financial ruin, he set about rebuilding the stadium and rebuilding the team. His dream of returning to England's top flight finally realised in 2003 with an iconic thumbs-up gesture as Wolves won the playoff final in Cardiff. When he couldn't do any more, he famously gave the club away, selling for just £10 on the condition new owner Steve Morgan put in £30 million. Perhaps the measure of the man is best summed up by his comments in the Visitors book of the Wolves Museum. His entry simply reads, "Glad to have helped."
They put on the because the big screens never worked for years, had they? And they put instead a big picture of him doing the thumbs up on it, and I always really liked that.
Yeah,
it's a shame that went.
Turned out on an emotional day at Molineux to pay a fitting tribute to Sir Jack Hayward prior to kick-off against Bolton.
Did you ever meet him?
I was going to ask that. I never did.
Briefly, I'd have like a fans parliament meeting. I was in the fans parliament for a while.
Hang on, you were in the fans parliament.
I was in the original lineup, original and best, some say. In like 2007.
Who's talking about the fans parliament? You got the fans parliament sticker album.
Oh yes.
Do you get positions in the fan parliament, like are you chancellor or?
I was representing the youth.
Games?
I think I was student representative, which means that I didn't really do much, and only turned up when I wanted to, because that was just to really take it, seriously as a student.
The student representative. Do you get to make any? What kind of? Do you put motions forward or?
Yeah, more episodes of Countdown on the big screen, that kind of stuff.
Is there a speaker of the parliament?
Cheaper lager, better kebabs, that kind of stuff really.
Let's get the Minder theme tune playing when people score.
This was
Fabi's debut, wasn't it? Yeah. I remember it was such an emotional occasion. All the tributes before the game, and yeah, lots of people in tears that day. Very emotional day. And a fitting win. I think it was 2 late goals, wasn't it, Mikey?
Yeah.
I remember.
We just saw Dave Edwards took his armband off and kind of ran off, holding it aloft to the south bank.
Yeah, beautifully done.
In front of what was to become the Sir Jack Hayward South Bank.
Of course.
Prize for, if you can remember what it was called beforehand.
Jack Harris.
Yes.
Of course.
Jack Harris, former chairman, I think.
Yeah. And the John Ireland was the Steve Ball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Ireland, Jack Harris.
Was it called the South Bank, just like back in the day? Was that its official title?
South Bank Terrace or something.
Mm.
I think so. I think it was, yeah. And then it became the Jack Harris.
Yeah. I wonder when we'll be sitting in the Mikey Burrows end.
You're never going anywhere near my end.
The Burrows Burrow. Very respectful camera distance there.
Oh, what a glorious start. It's Clough who's going to take it.
He had a great game that day, Zach Clough.
Oh, I used to hate going to Bolton. Worst Wi-Fi in the country.
Oh, yeah.
Abysmal.
One person gets on it in the press box and that's it.
Yeah.
Is that the city as a whole? Or just
That's a good point.
Worst
But
Wi-Fi in Britain.
But you can't even get 4G there to back it up. So you can't tweet from the game. It's an absolute nightmare.
Oh, this is one of my favourite moments ever. Not quite this goal, but there's a goal.
I was going to say.
There's a goal coming. That's one of my favourite moments
ever.
ever.
There, mate.
Yeah, this is it.
Here we go.
Still time. Henry.
Oh,
Absolutely pings it.
He runs the length of the pitch, look, and they all ran off the pitch, and because they were off the pitch, Bolton restarted. So you had Keames desperately telling them all to stop celebrating because Bolton were running forwards. On the commentary of that, it was me and Paul Berry were doing it, and on the commentary I was like, James Henry, and he's stolen it, and you just heard this broad Bolton voice in front of us on our microphone pick up going, "You're right, you have stolen it." Really loud.
brilliant.
8 games unbeaten. There was
Yeah, you do
plenty
put
of
yourself
hope
at harm's
going
way,
into
don't you, Mikey?
Yeah.
People might not appreciate when they're listening, but you're right in there with the home fans, aren't you? Surrounded by home fans.
Yeah.
And it's all right for the likes of me who can keep quiet and just shout on Twitter, but you obviously give it some
Put
welly.
yourself out there.
You know how loud I am.
Yeah, annoyingly loud. And what was it? Preston, where you nearly got lamped.
Yeah, Preston. I think it's the season after when Kevin McDonald scores in the 94th minute to equalise, and these fans came charging up the stairs, and then they noticed that one of our colleagues was wearing a Wolves coat, so he went past me to remonstrate with him instead. I've had that a lot of places.
What's the worst ground for you in terms of media positioning and angry support?
It's got to be Millwall, isn't it?
I was going to say.
You're right in it at Millwall.
I did a game Millwall once when I was covering MK Dons when I first started out, and MK Dons won 4-0, and the only thing separating me from the Millwall fans was a really small metal bar. So it was like I was sat next to them, and I remember having to go, "Oh, it's 4. Oh, there's such bad luck on Millwall."
Like a hostage video where you go, they're looking after me, they're treating me very well, I'm getting food.
The Molyneux men bounced back in fine style after the disappointing defeat to Reading and recorded a comprehensive...
Connor Cody makes another contribution in this game.
Oh, he does, doesn't he? This is the archetypal Dicko Afobe Sacco game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great.
And Van La Parra as well. They're all on it this night. What a win.
This felt like a big moment because we hadn't won at Huddersfield for an awful long time.
Mm.
It's a bit of a swinger.
It's another one of those places. I don't like going there because you're right behind the executive box, director's box, and they all kind of come out and take ages to get back to their seats after half time, so you can never see anything. Although Wolves directors John Bowater always tries to steal stuff from me. Benik refused to celebrate.
Classy.
Tops off in the stand. Have you ever done that?
I've never gone tops off at a football ground in celebration, no. I go tops off a lot at festivals, on nights out, but never at a football game.
Tim has been quite quiet here.
No, I was just trying to think. It's mostly at 3 a.m, to be honest. Yeah, singing Stevie Bull songs on the way back home. It's one of the proudest things I've ever done in my life is teaching all my uni mates the Stevie Bull's a Tata song, to the fact they still know it now off by heart. Just spreading the word of God.
And Mikey, you commentate topless most days.
Yeah.
That's why the home fans are so angry at you.
Right, it's not so much that, it's that I've also got my trousers off at the same time.
Shits in the centre to pick out here. He claims.
I don't really remember this game.
No, don't remember
Scrap
this
it.
one.
From a fair way out. He still needed the reactions of Thomas Kuszczak.
Oh, Kuszczak's in goal.
That's a fine pass. The renegade
Yeah, of
here
course.
also plays it in.
Yeah, that happened. He got about, didn't he get about 10 or so games, 15 games or so, I don't know. He was in for a bit.
There was a weird period where like Kenny just didn't really seem to trust Carlo Kimi because he brought in Kuszczak and then he brings in Emi Martinez in the following season.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
he
of
does.
course, yeah. I remember him dropped Akimi at the start of the season,
In
didn't
no
he?
mood for taking prisoners, goal-hungry
Kuszczak, of course, only adding to our Scrabble score when it comes to the squad names this year. Really impressive.
returning from a loan to Crystal Palace.
Kuszczak, Sagbo, Iorfa, Afobe, Dicko, Sacco. It's like,
Oh, what a pass that is.
Was that McDonald?
Yeah.
They make it look so simple, don't they? Wonderful
Really
touch
good,
and
really
composure
good.
from a
I remember we asked Kuszczak once if he wanted to do like a fans Q&A thing, and he was like, he had this really deep voice, and he was just like, no, they'll just ask me about West Brom all the time.
Dicko to his left, here he is. Dicko, brilliant.
class.
So clinical.
Really
football,
potent
that's
strike
what
force now, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you think,
Oh yeah, they were
Dicko and
brilliant,
Afobe.
and they just looked like they were having so much fun, and they always celebrated together, and it was just
Yeah.
this purple patch, wasn't it? This was it really, the 6 months, because Sacco leaves in the summer, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Edging it forward, the Wolves supporters, and forward it goes. And Afobe is in. Takes it
He was so
round.
good at this point.
3-0 Wolves, 2 for
And this is the
Benik Afobe.
bonkers thing that Sacco leaves, Dicko got injured in the August of the following season, and Benik then became a bit disillusioned and leaves in the January.
Yeah.
It was like they were never together again.
Yeah, it was very brief, wasn't it? But very memorable.
And stop. That's Edwards at the
Because they
near
thought that they
post.
could replace Sacco with Shea Ojo. Well, a
to
combination of
think,
Shea Ojo and Dave Edwards playing left wing start of that season.
I'd like to think that Rotherham fans, the Chuckle brothers, are at this game.
He's making his move now. Here is Sacco for 5. You bet
They always
it
used
is.
to be at home games for Rotherham, didn't they?
Well, there was that one. Do you remember the one time at the start of the 16-17 season, Zenga's first game?
Yeah, where's
And you had-
George Mendes and everyone's there.
You had George Mendes and the Chuckle brothers in the same director's box.
Chairman Gore.
I've never wanted to be a fly on the wall as much as then.
He's their agent, isn't he? Doesn't he represent? He's got all the big guns.
Yeah, that's why they left CBBC. They ended up going to Sport in Lisbon. It's a great move for him.
Yeah, very good with the 1-2s. To you, to me.
God.
Come on, someone had to try it.
I think there's a goal in this might be it, but we haven't seen it all, where there was like about 40 passes in the build-up to this goal.
I think it was that one. I think you're right.
How far out was this one? And the pace he puts on that ball. Dicko!
See, right, here's one for you, and this could be controversial. Dicko, Afobe, Sacco, Costa, Bonatini, Jota.
Bloody hell.
To match the number on the back of his shirt. Bakary Sacco.
Probably Dicko, Afobe, Sacco, I think. Oh, I don't know though. You can't leave Jota
I
out.
know.
No.
It's
It's hard though, isn't it?
yeah, it is, yeah.
But it was more Cavallero though, wasn't it, that season,
Then Costa.
than Costa.
He never gave the ball away, famously.
Never once. Yeah, that was his trademark.
Wins in 3.
Just refused to.
Bakary Sacco's first half strike secured victory at the Cardiff City Stadium.
Afobe. Sending Cardiff defenders in his wake here.
I'd probably go these three. I mean,
Lapara. The best of clues is Sacco.
they were just so direct. They all seem to be on the same wavelength as well.
Yeah.
And they seem to get on off the field.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, they were massive friends.
Very cool finish indeed. Search of a third win in a row, Wolves. Some Whittingham, dangerous
And that's the thing that, like, you know, the
link, and off the top.
Jack Price, Kevin McDonald, like they're their relationship on the field really paid off. The front three, their relationship really paid off.
Yeah.
It's why this team kind of worked.
So who else went up this season then? Bournemouth go up as champions?
Watford. Watford made a really late charge. And then...
Was that when they beat Leicester in the playoffs, or was that another season?
No, I think that was the season before, because I think they lost the playoff final.
Okay.
And then
That's
they
good
get
knowledge.
automatic. And then it's Norwich win the playoffs. It's Norwich, Middlesbrough, Brentford and Ipswich make up the
Outstanding
playoffs.
football from a confident and goal-thirsty team meant February was a month the players could hold their heads high. Wolves now had a goal difference above 0, whilst new signing Benik Afobe and fellow teammate Bakary Sacco both shared.
So it's the crazy thing, they just like won one of those games in November.
Yeah.
Kenny
Yeah, yeah.
was nominated for the Sky Bet
We've been
Championship
right in
Award for
amongst
Manager
it.
of the Month, but lost out to Norwich boss Alex Neil.
Did you not manage to secure any interviews for this season review, Mikey? There's no one replying to your texts.
Still waiting for Dave Edwards to get back to him.
I mean, we still had that John Ward hoodie from 2004, but no one would wear it. Right, this game, the ISDN line wouldn't work, so I couldn't actually do any commentary, so I went all the way to Bournemouth to do one post-match interview.
Threading through beautifully for Afobe. That is a wonderful goal, and he keeps up his scoring record for Wolverhampton.
I'd say these are the little things that might interest Tom.
Yeah.
Right? There was no press room at Bournemouth at this time, so they just gave you a £7.50 voucher to go and get your own food. But £7.50 was just way too generous. So Foz, our beloved programme editor, sadly no longer with us, he'd eaten beforehand. He just bought £7.50's worth of chocolates and sweets and was dishing them all out around the press box.
So do you have to go and queue then? They don't get you any.
Yeah. I mean, we're there so early.
Watford arrived at Molineux looking to dampen Kenny Jackett's hopes of joining them in the promotion race. What followed was arguably the game of the season so far. Though once again refereeing decisions would leave Wolves seeing red for all the wrong reasons.
Great ball.
Forestieri, I think, is the guilty man in this game.
1-0 Wolves after 14 minutes. Super finish. That could be dangerous.
Afobe's just absolutely ridiculous. It's amazing that he hasn't never really. I don't know. Has he achieved his potential? I mean, you'd argue not, wouldn't you? Really?
Yeah.
Looking at
No,
this
he
season.
hasn't. He hasn't. It's a real shame. It's one of them because he is he's superb, isn't he? With
Yeah, I
potential.
think he probably went to the wrong club in Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Just didn't quite fit in with their formation as well as he did here.
No.
This is the that comes off Jack Price.
Oh yeah, he claimed it, doesn't he? Yeah.
See how it?
But
Danny Bart lifts him like the Lion King.
yeah, because he hadn't scored before now, had he?
No. But neither had Courtney Hawes, who struck that ball, so it seemed really harsh.
Deserved it, yeah.
Ball in and it's wide from Henry. Oh, and an awkward bounce. A very awkward bounce. Troy Deeney makes it 2-2. Obi wants it, gets it. Fine finish. Oh, I felt that from here. Hoban's in bother, but he's already been yellow carded. Sacco.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot that. You scoundrel.
That's awful, isn't it?
Sacco's gone.
Having won their appeal over Bakary Sakho's
Great,
red card,
there you go.
Wolves
Justice.
were unchanged for the trip to Brighton. Though it wouldn't be a happy return for keeper Thomas Kuszczak, his opposite number was left the more embarrassed of the two.
But for their goalkeeper, no. Oh, and then cleared off the line by Greer. Incredible defending back on the line.
Yeah, wait till you see Rajiv Vanlapara's goal in this game.
Afobe's on his way again here. And Afobe! Fingertips from Stockdale.
Never really had much joy at Brighton either.
No, never.
Goodness me, he is
Such a long way to go as well.
Calderon looking to turn.
Decent fish and chips, though.
Is it?
Decent night out as well, by the way.
Decent night out. Decent fish and chips.
Squeezing it home is Bruno.
Is this because have you ever been there as an away fan?
I was there the relegation day.
Oh God, that must have been horrible.
It was disgusting. Yeah, yeah. Roger Johnson offering his shirt and everyone telling him, "No, you're okay. You're good."
Dicko forced away from goal. Oh, he's done brilliantly well here, Dicko. And this is Sakho. It's a
I
terrific
think that was like the
save.
last second of the game.
I believe he's not scored.
It's because we don't make the playoffs by goal difference, right?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
That's it. No, that's it, innit? Yeah. We
So
level with.
frustrating.
Is it Ipswich?
Our place in the playoffs was
Yeah.
becoming a real possibility.
And they face Ipswich in like penultimate home game of the season.
Benik Afobe and James Henry believe
Why is it all these bloody ones that we do just end up with regret in there? And for God's sake, where's the happy endings?
But I mean, it's But you got to. There's a lot of positives to take out of this season, isn't there? I guess that's what you got to look at. And
Yeah.
you know, we're a team that have just come into the championship, and yet we're right up there. You know,
Come on, Jack, join in.
they haven't practiced with Jack. Jack's not invited. I can never imagine myself being in training and being like, let's practice this celebration. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
how that plays out. I don't know. I just can't.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You've got to do it in your own time, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Kenny's not going to be going like, okay, lads, goalkeepers, you go off to your bit. Right, mate, Kevin, you just practice some long-range passing, and if you three want to go over to the dance area.
You wouldn't want to see it. Like, look, a
Great
couple of absolutely great goals in this game. As a manager, I'd rule it out. I'd never want to see my players having a practiced celebration.
Imagine, on like the training schedule for the day, you've got like 10 minutes of free kicks, and then 10 minutes of celebration practice, lads.
Got
That's what you got.
Awful. You don't like to see it. And also, like, they must have asked someone, like, does this look good? Guys, if we score and do this, is this good? You know what I mean? Like, oh.
earlier in the season, a 5-0 mauling at Derby had seriously dented Wolves' promotion hopes.
Oh, this was live on telly, I think.
Revenge was high on the agenda for this
Friday night.
thriller.
Oh, there's a really weird goal
Wolves
in this
once
game.
again got a helping hand from an opposing keeper.
Too many in the box since is one of them. To take aim! And come as close as anybody has come so far tonight. Beating Alvin Tozer not once but twice. Keogh in trouble, Afobe, and Grant to the rescue. Henry. Dicko.
It's the kind of effort that you take early. You have got a chance of catching a goalkeeper off guard.
Gift there from Forsyth to McDonald. And Dicko could make the most of it, and does! Well, he certainly looks sharp tonight, he's just proved it. Newer Dicko gives Wolves a vital lead.
Top scorer this season, Dicko? Must have been.
Joint with Saka with 15. Is that Grant still at Man United as like backup fourth keeper?
So, yeah, there's a whole list of really weird third choice keepers. Like, is it Mark Schwarzer who's won 2 Premier Leagues without playing for each club?
Yeah, I think
Chelsea
it is,
and
yeah.
Leicester.
Yeah.
That's just insane.
Is it
I'd be ashamed of that, really, if anything.
I think they might have been back to back.
Oh, I wouldn't take a medal.
Yes, you would.
I don't know.
Of course you would.
You'd take a medal.
You haven't
And the win
contributed to it
bonus
at all.
all night long.
Oh yeah, I'll take the win bonus.
Take it
we
all,
need
mate.
it. You haven't got an appearance bonus, have you?
I still don't understand what he's trying to do there.
This is the moment Man United thought, yeah.
Sign him up. He's got no right to get through there.
By the end of March, Wolves were firmly in the race for the
Yeah, we really are as well.
Just always just outside.
Kenny Jackett's side were frustratingly just
I think,
out of the
Tim,
top
you might know this better than me. Like, is this not like a record points total to not be in the playoffs with?
I spoke to Kenny Jackett a few weeks ago, and he said that was true. While I was interviewing him, he said, "Well, I think we got a record points total, but you might want to check that out, Tim." But I never did.
I think it might be it's the first time that a team had scored 78 points and it not be the playoffs. So I think it was in my head, I think that's what it was. I think it was the first time someone had scored that many points and it not be the playoffs. So whether that, I don't know whether that's changed since, but that's what I think it was.
They got 102 points the season before, 78 in this one. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Benik Afobe scores an unbelievable goal
Yes.
in this game.
Yes, I remember that one.
From the kick-off, I think, or just after the kick-off. Like, we've just started the second half.
Oh yeah, here he goes.
He's come quite a long way already, and he could pose a problem. He could score a goal. 50 seconds in the second half, and the man who can't stop scoring goals this season.
Perfect finish, that. Unbelievable.
Brilliant signing. Oh, there we go. I mean, that doesn't look like they've spent a lot of time working on that celebration.
Was that Mancien that gave that away, by the way? I seem to remember.
Oh, bloody hell.
Definitely not.
He's-
Wow.
Mancien's in this game, I think.
I'd forgotten how it is an exciting team, isn't it? It's a really exciting team. It's a good season.
And you do wonder, we say about perhaps not wanting to go up at the time, but Dicko, Sacco and Afobe in the Premier League, they would have scored a few.
Do you think Steve Morgan would have got the checkbook out if they'd gone out?
He seemed like he was quite disillusioned by this point. But yeah, I think having got them back up, I think he would have spent a fair amount of money, certainly more than what Sir Jack did in that season when they went up.
Because it's weird, we're only a couple of months away from him putting the club up for sale.
Yeah, it was September, wasn't it?
Was that Preston game? Do you remember?
Yeah, when he got stick outside the ground, didn't he? And said, "Oh, that's enough for me." Cue Dave Edwards, very smooth, Mikey.
Thanks, mate.
This was this Easter Monday?
Yeah. So we've done a big match revisited on this with Scott Golborn, Carl Ikeme, Jack Price, Kevin McDonald, Nua, all giving their thoughts on it.
How did you manage that? Was that on Zoom?
No, we did it on the thing that we're recording on now.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it's quite difficult to manage. I can't even manage a booze up with 3 mates, to be honest, let alone an interview with 6 players.
Kevin McDonald's stories are hilarious if you've not watched it, by the way.
He's a character, isn't he?
Yeah. His tales of pre-season trips to Ireland are very much like Tom Parry's holidays to Ibiza. With a little less pooing in the sea.
Stories that shouldn't be told.
count. Given the form this fella's in, you wouldn't expect him to miss a goal fest.
Well, you wondered when the shot came in and actually on its way to goal, it hit Nuadiko and you thought, wow, chance is gone. Mowat.
Was in the box, put it into his own net. Mowat leading the charge, right at the heart of the Wolves defenders. Mowat! It's 3-3! An absolute spectacular! And from 3-1 down, they've levelled it up! Well, Wolves fans appeal for handball, nothing is going to be given for that. In by McDonald's.
Listen to that.
What a moment.
Listen to that.
Absolutely huge for Wolves. Well, having played for this football club for 4 years, I know from experience that sometimes it's a club that does things the hard way.
Sometimes.
Just when Wolves were stuttering. Dave Edwards' header. A massive afternoon for Kenny Jackett and Wolverhampton.
It just felt like they were going to go on from there.
Were we in the top 6 at that point then, Mikey? Do you
Yeah,
remember?
that took them back into the top 6.
Beautiful bright spring day.
You just thought because of that moment, because of that drama, they had to go on. It was going to be
Yeah.
their year.
Well, they had the momentum, didn't they?
Still going. Afobe! Open.
And then was this an annual defeat at Blues?
Yeah, this is
At
where
a
it came
cru-
crashing down.
at a
This is
crunch
like the
point of the
week that
season.
cost them.
Bloody hell.
Can't stop scoring.
Blues again.
Yeah, I think I was at this game. Bloody horrible.
It's a shambolic attempt to defend their own corner in the second half that cost them.
Was that over the line?
Yeah.
Dropped in, and I think it was. It is 1-0. Finds Dicko. Dicko unleashes one. McDonald. Still McDonald. Lovely bit of skill from him.
Player of the season, was it McDonald?
Officially went to Spiers, I think. Which is weird.
Yeah, he'd had his rebirth, hadn't he, this season?
Scotty! Oh,
Oh,
God.
no.
Yeah, I think Steeman had been out on loan, hadn't he, before this? And then he...
in the relegation season, yeah, and then he kind of came back in the League One
Yeah.
campaign.
You're not going to believe this, but Damari Gray, when I was on that stag do in Ibiza, he fired a champagne bottle into my mouth through a super soaker.
Come on. No way.
Honest, we're at this it's like Ocean Beach or somewhere, this place. Gary Lineker's brother, Wayne Lineker, owns this place, don't they? And we went there, and like they do all this party and stuff, and every so often they bring out like models or with like these champagne. And so I was in the pool, I was drunk, and they carried out this guy in a boat, and it was like covered in champagne bottles. And I was like, is that Damari Gray? And then they start pushing Damari Gray around the pool, and he's got this like champagne super soaker, and he's firing champagne into all these girls' mouths. So I swam over and was like, don't be shy, Damari. And he squirted with me champagne. And then I nearly got kicked out for trying to nick champagne bottles off the back of Damari Gray's boat.
So you
There
did
you
know
go.
who he was?
Yes, you can. Yeah. That's Damari Gray. I think that's why they were carrying him around on a champagne boat, basically.
Champagne
Kind of
boat.
treatment you get. Anyway, there you go.
Off the bar. Imagine, like, that's the point.
That's
Oh,
it.
don't. I mean, I remember being at that game. It was like a Tuesday night, I think. It was a bloody miserable journey home.
Because get that point and then win this game, and they'd have been in the playoffs.
And in the right way as well, like coming up late through the playoffs. I know we say this quite a lot, but like
you're right.
the
All
way we're
momentum.
playing.
And Ipswich hit the front just before the halfway point of this first half.
You know, it's just the kind of team that coming in late at the playoffs, you'd really fancy their chances
Yeah,
to do
definitely.
something.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, like again, you have to look you have to take a step back and be like, what a great season we had, you know, like it, and a team that were really shaping up, you know. So let's try not to be too doom and gloom at the end of this.
No, you're right. Yeah, lots of fun, lots of entertainment, lots of goals. And you've got to remember, after those bloody awful 2 relegations,
yeah,
to then have 2 seasons like this.
It kind of felt like, you know, certainly from my experience as Wolves fan, it's kind of like back where we belong, which is like in the Championship pushing for promotion.
Yeah,
that's kind of like
and failing.
Kind of like,
yeah,
you know, it felt like, oh great, business has been restored. You know, we're back to where we are. Close to being promoted. Kind of like the vast majority of Wolves seasons have been this, you know.
Close to happiness, but
we've said on a previous review, like when you were born is how you view the club. So there were some people who view it as like team of the 60s and 70s and whatever, and yet there is a large period of people probably in our age range that are like, yeah, in the Championship.
This is it. Yeah, this is us.
Kind of perennially just failing to get over the line.
Yeah.
That's how I always remember Wolves. Yeah, it's just not good enough.
Only this season we were spared the disappointment of the playoffs.
Yes, that was, it's a happy ending for people of our generation who didn't have to go through the playoffs.
By the way, I think at this point Kevin Doyle has come back, and he nearly scores in this game.
I don't remember that at all.
He'd been out on loan. I remember there was an almighty cheer when he returned from that loan spell, and it might have been the Rotherham game we saw, and he hits the post in that, and then he nearly scores in this.
Wow, now you're talking.
I've never wanted someone to score as badly as.
I can't remember at all. Well, who would he? Was someone injured?
I don't know what it was, but because he went to QPR for the year, and then I think he was at Palace for a little bit, and he ended up just coming back.
I thought he'd already left the club at this point.
So is this the last game of the season now?
No, there's one more to come. Millwall at home, I think.
So we can still do it, but it's unlikely.
Yeah.
At this point, so.
We're going to get relegated off this game. That's why the goalkeeper was at.
I remember a big thing about this time is what was going to happen with Sacco, because remember he was out of contract.
Yeah.
And do you remember at the end of season awards, there was rumours that he was going to Albion.
Oh no!
And Steve Morgan says in the awards, whatever you do, don't go to bloody Albion.
Kenny Jackett's team could keep the season alive with a big win over already relegated Millwall, and they were determined to give it everything they had.
Showed great strength as well against Nelson.
So were we relying on Ipswich not to win on this final day? Do you remember?
Yeah.
And goal difference, wasn't it? Improving our goal difference.
Yeah, so the goal difference was ended up being +4, but I don't think it was +4 going into the day.
The breakthrough for Wolverhampton Wanderers.
I don't remember it being a particularly tense second half. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the other results.
I think they needed Ipswich to drop points, whether that was just a draw. And Wolves to win, but I think Ipswich had gone in front fairly early.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
So this just became like a ridiculous basketball end-to-end game.
Well, I love these. Oh, wow.
So good, so good.
Goal of the season was so hard to pick this year.
He's so good at that, isn't he? Cutting in from the left of the box.
Yeah, well, do you know what's goal of the season? Because James Henry's got a couple of contenders.
I think it was the James Henry at Bolton.
I liked Afobe's volley as well.
Sacco plays it in, and it's a goal for Ebanks Landhill. Great moment for him. It looks as though he's enjoyed that. It's great vision. Sacco.
Back off him.
Spectacular, maybe. So far away. It's a really good ball in, and It's been put into the net by Phil Potts. Sacco has a lovely turn.
It's done so well there. He has no right to finish that.
That's amazing. That's probably like his last kick in a Wolves shirt.
Look
isn't
at
it,
that.
Ridiculous.
So good. What a way to sign off.
Wrapping it all up. That will be that. Wolves end with a victory, but not enough for the playoffs this time around.
So ultimately, the playoffs were just out of reach for Wolves.
Oh, look at that. And Brentford as well on the same points. That's
In
ridiculous.
all a season full of entertainment and twists and turns that provides real hope for the future.
It's like, you think back to a couple of those pastings they took in November as well. If they were just defeats, but like by the odd goal.
Yeah, you're right. If 5-0 at Derby is 1-0, then they could have been in.
The very next season. Here's to history repeating in 2015-16.
There you go. Nice optimistic finish from Mikey.
Yeah, I mean, you're completely wrong, Mikey, but you gave it a shot.
Well, I must admit, I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, it's good. I don't remember a lot of those games, I've got to say. It's nice to look back.
Really entertaining season. Some beautiful play. Loads, the attacking play. Fantastic.
Oh dear.